Welcome to the Chronicles of Yarnia, the podcast from Montclair's local yarn store. I am Jen.
Amanda.
Kathleen.
I don't know what episode this is. My brain is fried.
You have good reason.
We're
these
in
days,
the
though.
70s.
We are in the 70s.
I'm going to say 77.
Here?
8? 78?
Yeah.
Yes!
78.
I was close.
You were very close. Yeah. Episode 78, and
yeah.
I was tricky. I didn't fill in the number so she could guess.
Oh, it doesn't even
weren't
occur
even
to me. We record this in the morning, and I am not a morning person, and it's made even worse by the fact that I went to the gym early in the morning, which I'm also not a gym person. So
who is this Jen?
This Jen is on her
the Jen imposter.
second sippy cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not a gym person either. I go to the gym, but I hate it.
You're very good about going.
you are
though.
very good about going.
I go early in the morning. One reason I go early in the morning is so my brain doesn't realize I'm there until halfway through, and then they're like, "Why is that? Oh, are we here?" That's what my brain says to my body, and my body's like, "You're already halfway in. Just keep going."
I have to say that is an advantage.
It's a good strategy.
The first half. I mean, I went at 7. It's not that early for like normal people, but for me,
I'm still in bed at 7.
it's very early. I normally don't get my out of in gear until like 8 a.m. Like both kids are up well before me. But yeah, I was like, wait, why am I on a bike? What the heck?
I know, right?
This is what
It takes your brain a while to wake up, and then
She's
you're actually
up.
pretty much done. Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know.
We'll
that I was
see. We'll
pretty
see.
much
I don't
done.
know. My alarm is set for 7:21 every day, so that I can
That's
snooze
nice.
once and get up at 7:30.
Oh, there you
There
go.
is a method to the madness. There is.
There you
but
go.
that's and most of the time I do get up then. Most of the time. Because also that's when Anna likes to be awake and likes to have her breakfast and everything. So
See, this is
it's
why
all about Anna.
We've trained the cats to wake up the boys because the boys feed them the dry food in the morning.
Yeah.
And they get wet food at some point in the morning later for me,
mm-hmm.
but not early.
Mm-hmm.
So they go wake up Ollie, and it's fine.
Yeah.
We've digressed already. And I'm sorry about
I
that.
think that's completely valid. I don't think I feel like winter is the great time that we all just sort of hibernate and enjoy tasty things.
Yeah, delicious.
And
delicious
now
foods.
Now we
went to
work it out.
the beach on Sunday. I went to the beach with the family, and then I'm going to Miami next week for work, and I'm just like, and that's when you're like, oh, poo.
Yeah.
I know, I was telling them I'm not a dessert person. I don't usually like dessert, but we've got some people staying with us right now, some family, and so everyone's like, it's festive, let's go out and get Ritas and get frozen ice. And then we went to the lake yesterday, and
I do love Ritas.
we always have to get ice cream on the way back from the lake. That is like Haley's rule.
Well, yeah.
That makes sense.
She's a smart girl, that
She is. Well, except it was 5 o'clock and we were going to eat dinner at 7, but
Well, you have ice cream for dinner
I still
sometimes.
couldn't. Yeah, we can. Normally we would, but we didn't in this case.
Oh.
Because our guests could not have any.
I had a
ice
whole
cream.
box of pastries from Mattarello's last week.
Oh my god.
Mattarellas.
That would be
delicious.
that would put me over the edge for sure.
Mattarello's is an Italian bakery in Upper Montclair.
They're really
you should
good.
Go. You should
It's
go.
really,
and they
really
have,
good.
Like, the best. What is it? Oat milk ice or cold draft brew.
Oh,
Ooh.
interesting.
I should try
Delicious.
that.
It's so good. So that was actually why I went, because I had to walk to my office
Mm-hmm.
from home, and I passed Mattarello's, and I'm like,
Whoops.
I'm gonna have a draft latte, and then
Sounds
I
amazing.
got a box of pastries too.
I mean,
They are
honestly,
so
they
good.
are
Like,
really
that's not
good.
They're really, really good. But they are
Ain't
kind
nothing
of
wrong with
the inverse of Little Daisy, because basically
Oh,
Little
yeah,
Daisy
everything has nuts.
is our nut-free
Mm-hmm.
shop in town, which those of us who have tree nut and peanut allergies in our families really appreciate.
Or
Because-
bring anything to schools or
bring it with
or
you somewhere if you don't
birthday
know people's
parties.
status. But I went when Mattarello's first opened. It looked so good. I went in one day and I was like, "Is there anything here that's safe for people with nut allergies?" She's like, "I would not do it."
No.
No.
But you appreciate
Almond
that
on
answer.
everything.
That's
Yes.
they have-
almonds, hazelnut, Nutella.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
true
Nutella.
Italian.
Mhm.
It's a true Italian.
I've got to go to
bakery.
Little Daisy's because Charlie's birthday is today.
Oh my goodness.
Abby's
Sure.
I know, he's 4.
Wow.
I can't believe he's 4.
And Abby's birthday is on Sunday. But for her school, she wants to bring cupcakes. So I got to go to Little Daisy's today and get
nice.
3 or.
And I think they are
18.
open on Tuesdays now. They're no longer open on Sundays, which is so weird because that used to be we sometimes.
Well, and that's such a high traffic,
cinnamon.
like brunchy.
They may have just needed a break.
Exactly. I think
feel like
they shifted it, and it's like
you know,
yep.
They're same
if
thing.
they want a weekend day like everybody else.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
We're closed on Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
We need it.
Which is
we need it. Yes. By the way, this is a podcast that's technically about like knitting and crocheting,
not about
and
food
yarn
and
stuff.
exercise.
But apparently, it's also about like what foods we like. I mean, we digress a lot.
Pistachio pastries. Oh, the pistachio.
Pistachio. I tell you, I had a gift card to Italy that I had to use because it was going to expire from my lovely sister-in-law and brother, and I was like, I'm gonna order all the fancy Nutellas and like pistachio cream. So it was like, it's like peanut butter but pistachios. It's so good. It is so good. And Max was like, I think my older son was like, oh, this tastes good. It's like I kind of like it. I'm like, no, mine.
This is mommy's.
Yeah. This is mommy's. Daddy doesn't like pistachios, and if you're like meh about it, you have to love it.
Yeah.
You have to love it.
You know, I actually love pistachios. They're one of my favorite nuts.
Good.
But I don't like pistachio flavored things. Like pistachio ice cream, I don't care for.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pistachio ice cream.
The pistachio cream, like, what do you
I've
call
never
it?
had
A cream cake at Matarello.
All right, I'm gonna have to try one of these days when Haley is away for the week.
And also Gutierro Gelati on Bloomfield has a fantastic pistachio ice cream and occasionally pistachio gelato.
Okay. Y'all are killing me.
Enough for the food. Yeah, enough for the food.
This is what happened. I did like a spin class this morning and now my legs
all I
hurt
can do
and
is
I'm
think about
starving.
I've got a dance competition in 10 days. I've got to, like, not eat for 10 days.
No, you can't not eat because
I know.
athletics.
I know.
Yeah,
But
protein, lots of protein.
You need to like fuel your body.
Not pistachio cream cakes.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds really good though.
I made gluten-free banana muffins over the weekend because the person staying with us is gluten-free.
Yeah.
And they were so good, I would make them for anybody.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that good?
That's great when you find
King
those
Arthur
things.
measure for measure flour.
King
That
Arthur.
is the key. Or I don't.
They have
maybe it's cup for cup, whatever. There's 2 different brands. It's the King Arthur.
Yeah.
That's the one.
They're really good with that. I have
Yeah.
a bunch of gluten-free friends who swear by it and so
Can
good.
you do gluten-free sourdough?
Yes.
Is that possible?
I think so.
Yes.
Well, one of the breads we got was a gluten-free sourdough.
Because, like, can your little yeasties eat the gluten-free flour or no?
It can eat the gluten-free flour, but the problem is that what the gluten does is it creates a mesh structure. The gluten proteins create a mesh that help trap all of the off-gassing of the yeasties, which if you've ever watched the Good Eats on yeast breads, which I highly recommend finding.
I'll link it below if I can find it.
It's basically I showed it to my kids because they were like, how does yeast work? I'm like, it's farting it out. But it's true. The yeast eat the sugar and the bread and and all of the carbs in the flour, and then they like fart out gas, essentially. That's the byproduct. And then the gluten web kind of contains those air bubbles. So if you don't have a gluten web to provide the structure for the sourdough, you need something else. So it can be a little bit tricky, which that's why a lot of gluten-free breads are more like quick breads that use baking soda or baking powder because in that the bubble mechanics, like gluten will still do that, but like a quick bread is usually more tender.
Small bubbles.
Yeah,
the
smaller bubbles and not like your big airy ones.
Yeah.
If you look at
I want sourdough bread.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, that's
and,
been
good butter.
Beth makes sourdough using Jen's starter.
I need to get new starter. It actually went
We
bad.
have a ton of starter. Well,
Yeah, I was
Beth
gonna
pours
say.
off a lot each week.
She should make crumpets with them. That's delicious.
Not until after June 10th.
Okay. Then she should make crumpets.
Okay, then crumpets.
But she's been experimenting because me and Jeff and the bigger kids love the really hard crust, crispy sourdough.
Yeah.
But like the little kids, because she makes 2 or 3 loaves a week, and the little kids for bread, sandwich, want softer, smaller holes.
Yeah.
So she's been experimenting with how to make a softer, and it's spectacular. It's spectacular.
Nice.
Those are fun.
Which is another problem.
Having all this good stuff in your
having
house.
Having a baker in your house.
Having a baker in my house. Yes, I'm soliciting people to offload.
One of the things, and I'm sure she's probably already done this, is that you can also add a little bit of a sourdough ferment, whether it's the starter or a fed starter or a sponge, to a regular yeasted bread, because the sourdough will help lend flavor.
Yeah.
You'll get a softer crust because of the regular yeasted bread, and the resulting loaf will last longer because sourdough loaves tend to stay fresh longer. They don't go stale quite as quickly because of the natural ferment.
She does all sorts of things. I don't even know. She's like a mad scientist in my kitchen.
That's so fun. That's so fun.
And she's going to start on croissant because she got a stand mixer.
Oh,
we were gifted. We were loaned a stand mixer for the summer. So now she's like, I've been waiting for this because I was not going to. You have to
oh my gosh,
mix or beat the croissant.
Yeah,
I thought it was like rolling and folding and stuff too with that. I don't know, maybe
it's
in the beginning.
There's a lot of kneading that you have to do before you
that's true. You
get
can
to the
do
point where
the
you
kneading.
wrap the butter.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm not doing that by hand.
No.
So now that we have the stand mixer,
she should make Japanese milk bread for the littles.
She should just give her. I'm going to give you her cell phone number, and you can send her text because if it goes through me, I've got a problem.
Right. I have a good recipe for Japanese milk bread that is somewhere in my dining room right now because my entire kitchen, we're doing a kitchen renovation. It starts today.
Oh, do you have Madeleine pans?
Yes.
Accessible?
No. They are packed up.
Oops.
I don't know where they are.
Sorry, I didn't ask.
That's one thing I don't have.
That's okay. Yeah, I used to make financiers and Madeleine from the Madeleine
That's what
pans.
she wants to.
Yeah, they're really good.
And I don't buy specialty pans.
Oh, I buy specialty.
I have a lot of
Madeleine pans are worth it because Madelines are good, and also you can just put like muffins in it. It's cute.
The only thing I make is have specialty pans for popovers because popovers.
You need popovers.
Those aren't
popovers.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! I learned you're supposed to melt the butter in the pans in the oven so that the pan is hot before you put
that's why it goes poof.
Well, I was doing something else. I was putting melted butter in a cold pan.
Oh.
Like melting the butter, putting it in a cold pan, and my popovers constantly stuck. Always stuck.
Mm-hmm.
I did not understand why. I thought it was because it said melt the butter. I don't know. Somehow the recipe was not clear. And then I read another one that was like
the
heat
pan
up
needs
the
to
pan.
be hot. The pan needs to be super
like
hot. That's
hot with the butter in it.
That's part of the
Yes, I didn't know that.
You can literally like
now
put the pat of butter in and then throw the whole thing in the oven.
Well, now I know.
I know, so much easier.
And now you know. And if your popovers stick to your pan, that's why.
Do you have a good popover recipe?
I mean,
this one.
I'm not thinking about that till after June 10th.
I
just used the Williams-Sonoma one, but they weren't clear about the whole put it in. And so I don't remember. I was looking for another recipe, and they had that tip in there, and I was like, oh, well, there you go.
I bet there's
and it
a
turned
King
out
Arthur
perfectly.
one.
I do love a popover.
Shush. All right.
And that's much more of a fall thing to me, though.
Oh.
It's like with roast beef.
I don't have an oven for the next 6 to 9 months. I'll come over to your house
and be like,
Beth, make me some food.
Y'all cook together.
We'll totally cook together.
You can leave the boys in the backyard.
I know, we're going to have to, because, again, although I will have a dishwasher. The contractors were like, we're going to put in your temporary kitchen, and we'll put the dishwasher here. And I was like, I get the dishwasher? I have been preparing the children to hand wash dishes. And they're like,
yeah.
I guess when it's that long a project, that's really nice.
You get real efficient with your cooking and when you don't have a dishwasher. I didn't have a dishwasher for, I don't know, 7-8 years. So, I still cook very efficiently pan-wise.
Oh,
you know what
I
mean?
do too.
Yeah.
Which sometimes winds up taking longer, though, but I still do it.
I don't know.
I'm a huge proponent of clean as you go, and Jonathan is not does not understand that concept.
I do a lot of eggs.
It kills me.
On, like, Eastern dishes, I would say. But if I make the rice first, you know how sometimes the rice sticks to your pan? Mm-hmm. Fill it with water and soft boil your eggs in the pan. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Oh, wow.
That's a good idea.
Wow.
7 minutes. I like a 7-minute soft boiled egg.
I love a soft boiled egg.
I had a
6.5.
I'm really hungry right now.
Yeah, we need to stop talking about food. We totally need to stop talking about food.
6-minute egg if
This
they're
is
room
killing
temperature,
us.
7-minute egg if they're out of the fridge.
Let's talk about finished objects.
That's
Finished objects! Move on to a high fiber diet.
Finished
There you go.
And a high fiber.
Amanda,
What are you
why don't you
wearing?
start us?
I am wearing a finished object!
Yay!
Yay! I had this almost done last week. You remember
Yes,
last time
you were-
I just had to
Yeah.
finish the sleeves, but I finished it. This is the Eastbound Sweater by Courtney Kelley.
Oh, I love it.
So
So-
cute.
It's so
See?
cute.
Really fun.
I love
Yeah.
that silhouette.
Right? I saw this in Knit Simple, I think.
Oh,
or
wow. Really?
something like that. Knitting back in like 2016 or 2017. And I
Wow.
like saved that magazine, dog-eared it, and then this was maybe about the time I discovered Ravelry, and as soon as I discovered Ravelry, I favorited this sweater.
Mm-hmm.
I just love it. It is somewhat similar to my other favorite like commercial sweater,
Mhm.
which I have from Vince, which I want to figure out how to recreate someday, although
Mm-hmm.
not in the gauge that it's in because it's fine
Yeah,
gauge.
machine knit is.
Mhm.
It's not-
different.
But you
It's
still
not
do the
super fine
proportions.
gauge. It's probably
You know.
Like
lace
fingering?
weight to fingering weight. It's
Okay.
knittable.
Mhm.
It is knittable,
Mhm.
but it's like 2x2 rib forever and ever and ever.
Oh no.
That would be
no,
not
that's
fun.
a hard pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's a really cool silhouette. That can
Yeah,
work
if
on
you like the
everything.
proportions and everything, just do it in another, another
Yeah.
knit
Yeah.
stitch. Do
But
it in
it's
another pattern.
it's a wool short sleeve sweater, but loose, right? So
Uh-huh.
it's a 90-degree
it's
day to day,
fun.
by the way. This
Oh
is
yeah,
a
like,
wool
this is going to be
short
the hottest
sleeve
thing we've
sweater,
had so far.
but it's not like super hot. It keeps me
Mhm.
like
Yeah, it's not too
I
close to the body. It's,
right.
Yeah.
It's got
Yeah.
plenty of room
Especially
here.
the
so
sleeves,
it's
you got air
not-
around your
it's
sleeves.
Breezy.
breathable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
Very
dolman,
fun.
obviously, as you can see.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You've got this shape that increases from the waist up, and then once you get to the sleeves, it decreases. So you've got this little triangle,
Mm-hmm.
extra bit of fabric here.
Mm-hmm.
Super easy to wear.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's such a popular sweater. So, and the other thing,
I thought
The
I
other
turned
thing-
that off for Tuesdays.
the
Sorry.
other thing I really like about this pattern is the edging, because it's one that I don't think about that much.
Mm-hmm.
She uses 3 rows of stockinette at the end of each one, and it just is like a
Oh.
nice little curl.
Little roll.
So cute little curl.
Yeah.
Mhm. Nice.
You know, if you like the I-cord look but don't feel like doing the I-cord bind off, 3 rows of stockinette is a
There
really
you go.
good
Pretty
sub.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like all your ribbing and then 3 rows of stockinette.
Nice.
Very fun. Very
I like
nice.
it.
But I like
Cool.
it. This was made in Ancient Arts Lascaux worsted.
Just over here behind
Right
you.
Yeah.
of Kathleen.
So, and the Lascaux
Ooh,
is
I
like a
love
rare
that.
breed sheep from, and they have, it's the
And
Lascaux
it
and the
comes in
Manx
gorgeous
Locatin.
colors. Oh, those are pretty. That's a good
Right?
colorway.
And is it the Manx Locatin or the Lascaux that's the gray? I forget.
I want to say it's the Manx that's gray, but I could be wrong.
The Punto Arenas.
Punto
Yeah,
Arenas.
that's the white. The Punto Arenas is the white.
So the
Manx
Manx.
Locatin. Yeah, that's the
Probably.
gray sheep.
Mhm.
And so this
It gives
has
it
like
such
a
depth of color.
yeah.
Because
It's got a natural heather going on.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. A lot like the Corey worsted.
I think
Yeah.
yeah, Ancient Arts basically buys up all of that sheep fiber
Mhm.
available every year. It
Mhm.
just makes
That's
this
pretty cool.
a limited amount of this.
Lab yarn.
Yes, of this Lascaux worsted,
Mhm.
which I love. I've loved it since it came in, and I had a sweaters quantity since it came in like 2021.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A little while
A
ago.
little while ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I finally cast it on and finished it.
And it didn't take you that long.
No.
No.
This one was
Mhm.
fast. You knit it on a 9, so it's super speedy.
Gotta love that.
Yeah.
Gotta love that. What else do you have finished object? Because I see you have stuff.
Yeah, I do. I just have I have this one, which I was knitting on last time I told you I'd finish it. I did. I finished it in like 2 hours.
It's so cute.
Yay. But this is,
It's fun.
yeah, right? I mean, this is what everybody needs on a 90-degree day. A wool hat and a new wool
hat
sweater.
and a sweater
Mm-hmm.
that
But-
you can wear in the sun.
But it's such a fun way to show off those avocados.
So
Yes.
that is
This is the Dovetail Hat by Quinn Reverendo.
nice.
Yay! And Quinn, they're
They work for Manos.
they work for Manos. They're our like contact every
yes,
time we
exactly.
place
When we
an
call.
order. So this
Yep.
is their
Talk to
pattern.
Quinn.
Yep, and this is Courtney Kelley's pattern, and
Mhm.
she's the owner of Colburn Woolens, who
It's
we
a
love.
yarn
So, yes.
pattern.
This is a very Yarn Friends type finished objects day.
Absolutely.
And that's done in the Manos del Uruguay.
Alegria Grande
Alegria
is the
Grande.
main color, one skein of the Alegria Grande, and then a set of the Bocados, which are they're the mini skeins of the Alegria Grande.
They're really
But you get to play with color. So
I think that would be such a good first color work project.
it would be really good for that.
Because
We
you've
should
got
definitely do that in the
2
fall.
rows of color
three.
work, or 3 rows of color work, and then 3 rows of plain.
Rest
and
time.
3 rows of color work, 3 rows of plain.
Yep. It's
Very
really nice.
straightforward.
And this is like the nicest, softest
Oh, yeah.
fabric.
Alegria
so
is
good.
great.
It is great. Like,
I really
if
love
you
it.
have someone you're knitting for, and it's wool poly.
Yeah.
Like it says 75-25.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which means if you're knitting for someone and you're like, oh, they're going to be sensitive, they're not going to want anything scratchy, and they might throw it in the washing machine, this is a real good one.
Yeah.
And Manos del Uruguay is one of those great yarn companies that supports women's collectives
Yeah.
dyeing the yarn in Uruguay.
Yeah.
They have a really great story. You can find out more on their website, and also I think we have it probably in some of our descriptions.
Well, we did a whole feature on
Yeah.
them for the Wool Walk in 2020, which
Right.
is, I'll link that video below too. Someday someone's going to tell me how to get the links up here. Maybe I'll do it.
Oh
but-
yeah, where they show up.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So they're
I'm not
promoting.
doing. So just so you know, I'm away from home 17 days in June. I'm not doing it.
Not
for
a
the
lot
podcast.
extra time.
You
Not
can
a lot
scroll
extra
down.
time.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I will learn how to do it eventually when my life is less hectic.
You can
I
also
always
just
feel like
type in Manos in the search bar of Chronicles of Yarnia and see what shows up.
yeah.
Yeah, but
The
I'll
thing
link
I
it.
always
You
feel
don't
though
have to do
about having the links in the bottom versus embedded right there, I don't like to jump away from what I'm doing and go right there. Then
Yeah,
it's
you
like
wanna
I
finish
do
it
it later. I like
No,
to
I know.
finish things and then
it,
move on.
it depends on
That's
what
me.
I'm looking for.
That's me.
I think it's, and if you're watching on your TV, so I usually watch YouTube streaming through my Apple TV,
Mm-hmm.
and then they don't show up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you
They
also,
don't show up at all, or you just can't click on them.
I don't think they show up at all.
I feel like they show up because I get them, but
On
I
Apple
can't
TV?
click on my TV. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I do it through Roku, and I don't know if they
no,
show
that's
up.
true. It's Roku. I do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Apple is negating the clicks.
Our
Apple.
we replaced our Apple TV, which was really old, with a Roku.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's why. And actually, we now are on a second Roku, but we digress.
All right.
We digress even
Those
more.
are my actual
Those are your
finished
finished?
objects. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to save the other one for the next?
I'll save
for
the other
next
one
portion?
For our
We're
next
talking about-
section.
We're talking about socks.
Yeah.
I have one finished object. I'm wearing the
Look at
Aliso Creek top in summer solstice. This was done last year. I know it's a very
So
good
pretty.
spring, summer. It's super wearable. It's not hot at all. I mean, it's also short sleeved and it's also cropped because I was like, I'm gonna wear it over dresses. Who am I kidding? Summer solstice, Juniper Moon Farm summer solstice, which
Sorry for the beeping.
I know, like somebody.
There we go.
There we
Fire
go.
alarm.
It's viscose linen
Cotton.
Cotton. Yeah.
Little
knits
poly.
up really great. Sport weight. I love this pattern.
The lace is so pretty on it.
It's
It
so
really
pretty.
is. Yeah.
This was last year's summer sweater class.
That's right.
And yeah,
Do you have your thing from this year's summer sweater class?
No,
Did you bring it with you? No?
because I don't know where it is. It's somewhere
Oh,
in my. No, I know
oh,
where it
okay.
is, but
No.
it's there. Literally my entire kitchen and living room. One of the living rooms in my house. There's two right next to each other. They're all in one living room, and until they put down the flooring and build the temporary walls to block everything off, I can't find
Yeah.
anything. I was looking for 20 minutes for a spoon today.
Oh, no. Oh,
And
no.
I am pretty sure, because I was working on this year's summer sweater, which is the Anchor family of sweaters. I am pretty sure it is on a chair in the back, but I can't
But you
get
can't
to
reach
that
it.
chair.
Can't reach it. Yeah.
The cats can't even get to that chair because there's 5 bins in front of that chair. So those will go away in the next 2 days, and then I'll find it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Before next Sunday.
I need it before next Sunday. And meanwhile, like, all the stuff that needed protection from the kitchen is in my office, so I can't even get into my office.
Oh my goodness.
Because literally every single plant in the house is in it.
Oh.
And I'm like,
oh wow.
You have a greenhouse.
My house is chaos. My house is total chaos. I was going to have this finished, but I didn't, so I'll deal this with
you're almost done,
Whips.
though.
I'm almost, it's basically like
Oh yeah, you really
I could have bound off last night, but I was like, I think it needs to be a bit longer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Hey, if you got the yarn, go for it.
Right.
Right.
But Aliso Creek, summer solstice,
There you go.
my life
Very
is
nice.
chaos. I'm gonna drink my coffee.
My life is chaos.
My life is chaos.
You need a shot in your coffee.
That was the priority where I was like, you guys put down the whatever to protect the floor, but so long as I can open that liquor cabinet.
Right.
And I was like, and you test it.
Yeah, test it.
Because we didn't pack that up on purpose.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Sorry, Kathleen. Go ahead.
That's okay. I am wearing the Seven Sisters top
Woohoo!
or tee, Seven Sisters anyway, by Sloane Lacasse.
Nice.
I love it.
Thank you. I really
Nice.
like it. This is the second time I'm wearing it, and
It looks so comfy.
it's
Not
very comfy.
cozy.
It's a nice.
I like that.
So I use Juniper Moon Damask, which is 100% linen,
Yeah.
and it is 328 yards to the 100 gram skein. So it's quite nice yardage. It really is. I
I'm
use like
using that
2.5.
for my summer sweater.
Right,
class.
that's right. I used 2.5 of these for this.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is good.
hmm And I was thinking if other people liked this, they're. It doesn't come in that huge a palette, but they're all really nice colors. So this is the
Yeah.
gray, stormy sky. The tan is driftwood.
That's a good driftwoody
Mm-hmm.
tan.
And they're all kind of painted. It's that.
Yeah.
Actually, that was one of the things. This particular pattern, it was a Blue Sky Fibers pattern, I believe,
Yep.
and it was done for one of their painted yarns.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I think if I were to do it again, I might tighten up my gauge a little bit. I did it to gauge, and I did swatch, and when the swatch seemed fine, but the weight of the garment is definitely heavier than the weight of the swatch. So,
yeah.
I always still recommend swatching. Like, it would have been worse without swatching, but I probably would have done it a little bit tighter, knowing that it would loosen up a little
Do you
bit
know what
more.
Laura Nelkin
Yeah.
suggested?
What?
She suggested putting your swatch on your ironing board, like pinning it to the top and putting like paper
Weights on
clips. Yeah, or like binder clips on the bottom.
Oh,
As
to just weight it to see how it's going to change.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
That is especially good when, if you're talking about plant-based fibers, so cottons, linens.
She uses a lot of plant-based because she's in. Well, no, she's in New York, but I don't know.
She
Chooses
just
a
likes
lot of
them.
California.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, so the last color I was going to show you is Deep Sea.
Yeah, I love
So anyway,
this
and
deep sea.
there are only 4 more. There's a red, there's a gold, and there is, what is the other one? I don't know.
I can't
Purple.
remember. Either. Purple.
Purple.
There's a purple.
Yes. So they all have this kind of painted effect, and I think it's a nice choice. I would definitely do. I was a little bit under gauge on this actually too, based on what the pattern called for. But anyway, and
I think it came out great.
Thank you. I'm happy with it. I did. I'm going to shrink it a little bit. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to reblock it. Throw it in the dryer in like 5-minute, 10-minute increments.
I actually always recommend that for anything linen or anything primarily linen. I recommend putting it in the dryer. Linen is stronger wet than it is dry.
Well, and the funny thing too, it shrinks up so much when it's wet. I mean, wet.
It tightens.
It looks like it's not going to fit, and then you start drying it, and it gets bigger. and
So
bigger.
crazy.
Yeah. So I know I kind of did freak out a little bit when I first was walking because I'm like, I thought this might be too big, and now it's going to be too small.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and it's funny. It also gets like harder, crunchier,
stiff. Kind of
yeah,
stiff.
so you're
It's
like, oh my gosh, this is going to be too stiff, and then
but as it dries, it definitely softens. It is, and it's definitely softer even than yeah.
Well, and the more you beat up linen, the drapier it gets, and that's why, like, if you ever are worried that linen is going to wrinkle, like, dry it, wash and dry it, and like beat it up. It likes that.
Yeah.
It chills out, and like wrinkles will come out. But I kind of, for any plant-based Sweater fiber, if you find that like it stretches out, throw it in the dryer for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And again,
keep an eye on it.
Don't yell at me
when
if
it
it shrinks.
Yeah.
When it's damp.
Yeah.
Or
not
wet.
like dry.
No, it's not going to make
no.
it different. And you need to be like cooking some of the water out of it, basically.
Yeah, you need the
Steaming
heat
it.
to have it kind of spring back to life. Think of it like your jeans, right? Like you put on jeans, they're too tight. By the end of the day, they're falling off.
Yes.
Right? So they stretch out. It's the same concept, and it's because plant fibers have no spring back. Wool is like it has crimp. So like you can stretch it out and it'll spring back. It has memory.
Yeah, which is why if you think you're going to block your sleeves longer, they'll be blocked at the beginning of the day, and by the end of the day, they'll be back up here.
Yeah. Well, and it's also why like wool sweaters, like you got to block them into shape every single time.
Yeah.
You wash it, which is fine. You just gotta know it.
You gotta do it. Yeah.
It's got a memory.
I've got to wash all my winter sweaters. That's now
I
my
have to do that too.
Yeah,
I'm probably not
I've
gonna
done
be
a few of
wearing
them, but
heavy wool sweaters anymore. I've got to do some of that.
I need
That's
to
always
totally
a good thing to do.
overhaul my dressing room. That is on the list for today. I'm not going to finish it today, but I'm going to start today.
Yeah.
All right. So I have one other finished object.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I think it's a good lead-in into our next segment,
Yeah.
which is all about socks. So I finally finished these socks that I was making for my husband Gene. That I started easily 6 months ago. I mean, when we did sock bingo last year, I really got into the socks.
Yeah.
You were.
I was cranking along, and then I kind of fell off a little bit. But I did this cranked tube, or I didn't do it. I think Sasha did it. Sasha or Haley. Sasha, Haley, and Jen
Cranking
are
that
our
Clementine.
crankers. Yep. So all I needed to do was add in the toes, heels, and ribbing, and I did a little bit of tipping also.
I love the tipping.
I love the tipping. I like when things kind of are in more than one place. I think it just pulls it together a little more. So he's been wearing this one pair of socks for so long. Not that he needs them now. Like we said, it's going to be over 90 today, but I'm glad that they're done.
Yes.
So so that is that.
I did momentarily consider wearing wool socks today, and then I was like, no, I'm not wearing wool socks and boots. It would look good with the outfit, but
it
would look cute.
A little too
but
hot.
it's too hot.
I'm in boat shoes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 95.
I like those.
Crazy.
And you used one of the little sock.
I did the little United socks
sock.
for the heels and toes, and the main color was the KFI Indulgence sock.
Yeah, I like
Which-
that color.
It's definitely, I mean, it's certainly good for anyone, but a lot of times when people are making socks for men, that's what they go for. They definitely have a little bit more...
It's a little conservative range. You're not going to
Yes.
get a lot of speckles necessarily, but you'll still get the tonality.
Yep.
You could wear that with a suit. It would be okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
totally.
totally.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. So that is it for me on finished objects, but I have
Excellent.
so many whips.
You have so many whips?
So let's start with
cast
whips on you.
Well,
I cast on all
let's
the
talk
things.
about socks.
Yeah,
'cause
let's
we
talk about
just
socks.
started
Let's do a
Yes.
little,
the whole summer thing.
sock bingo.
Sock bingo.
It's back!
So we had
For us, it just started yesterday.
Yes, exactly, in real time. We had probably 100 people download the board yesterday.
Yay!
Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you guys.
When I got home last night, I was archiving all those emails.
Me too.
Yay.
Oh my goodness.
So, it's really great to see. And actually, thank you also. This is a good time to talk about our giveaway.
Yes.
Because we did, last episode, we asked you all, what should we put on this year's sock bingo board?
You guys had really great suggestions.
Really good suggestions, and we took a lot of them. I mean, one of the things that was suggested was a new to me toe or a new to me heel. One of the things we're playing with the whole bingo idea a little bit. Usually there's a free space. We're not doing a free space. We're doing something better.
Yes.
We're doing basically what is the equivalent of 2 free spaces. So we've got a few different options. We're calling them flexi squares. So my first sock, we really thought it was important to be able to give people credit for that first sock if they're making their first sock as part of sock bingo. But obviously if we put that on the board, a lot of people have been making socks for a while. They could never do that.
Right.
So by having that be a flexi square, if it's your first sock, you can replace the square that you don't want to do, 9-inch circular for me.
Same.
With my first sock. Another one that I love is beating second sock syndrome.
Yep.
If you've had a pair that you cannot get yourself to do that second sock, go ahead and cast it on as part of sock bingo and use the beat second sock syndrome flexi square for that. Related to this, one option is Clementine assisted socks.
There you go.
So if you get a 2 cranked on Clementine, you can use it with heels and toes and finish your ribbing as a flexi square with Clementine. Crochet socks or socks with crocheted elements is another one. And then I love this idea, and a couple of people said it, gift knit. How about a sock that you're making specifically for someone else? So we've got a lot of, we've got all the usual things you'd expect. You've got magic loop method, 2 circulars method, 9-inch circulars, DPNs. And we did clarify this time, DPNs or flexi flips, they are part of the same family.
Yes.
Flexi flips or and that's the Addy brand.
Addy brand. Yeah,
Addy.
But other companies' versions of the same thing definitely count as DPNs. So go ahead, go to our website. You can either go to the event that was on May 30th and download the board from there, or just if you type in bingo in the search box, it'll take you right to the page.
As well.
And of course, Amanda will put a link. Yeah, much easier. So
click through, and it's free. You do have to go through the checkout process, which includes putting in your address, and that's important because
that makes it
prizes.
Exactly, there are prizes, and that makes it easy.
We can send them to you
for us to send you your progress keeper. Everyone that completes a bingo, which means completing a normal across, down, diagonal, in any way on the board, 5 in a row, exactly. Plus 5 socks. You'll read all of the rules. We have very detailed rules. They were good last year. We just made the changes.
Yep,
we tweaked them a little.
5 socks means 5 individual socks. So that's 2 pairs plus 1.
Yeah, 2 pairs plus 1, or 1 pair plus 3, or 5 different socks.
Yes.
And one of the initial rules you'll see is you can't make 5 socks that are exactly the same. The whole idea of this is to learn new things, try new things, see what you like.
Yep.
That's the way you figure out what you like, is by trying alternatives. So what are you guys going to be trying as part of this year's sock bingo?
Well, I am going to be utilizing that flexi square so I don't have to do the 9-inch circulars because I physically cannot do them. But, I prefer DPNs. I'm going to do magic loop. I'm probably going to do 2 at a time.
That's a square. Magic loop's a square, 2 at a time's a square.
Mine, I always use zeros because I'm a loose knitter. And then this Labiana Main Cashmere now.
That would be indulgent.
It's glacier. It's so pretty.
Yeah. I've knit a few MCN, which is what this is, right?
Yeah.
It's merino cashmere nylon.
Which I remember when you wrote that in something, I'm like, what is that? What is MCN?
Yeah.
Not being a sock person years ago.
Has an MCN base, and I've used hers. But yes, this is lovely. Do not, if you've ever heard me say I throw my socks in the wash, do not throw your MCN socks in the wash.
I don't do that.
Do not.
Those are hand wash.
They are hand wash.
Yes,
okay.
They're a hand
wash.
washer.
They are not put them in a bag. They put them in the wash.
They're hand wash.
FYI. I have done this experiment for you.
Learn from Amanda. Yeah. And I may, one of the things,
cozy.
I tend to default to plain vanilla socks. Just because I like doing like the mindless stockinette in the round. Like it's my favorite. But what I might do is throw in one of them is cable.
Cable or faux cable.
Or faux cable. I may throw in a cable or faux cable clock, which runs down the ankle.
Down the outer leg over your ankle.
Yeah. Outer leg over your ankle. It's called a clock. So
I remember that from costume design of the 1700s.
Oh,
wow,
that's impressive.
It's stuck in my head. Oh yeah, it does. That's when it was from. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
So I may do that, so that way I can check off cable as well.
There you go. Very nice.
Yeah.
I am going to try something new, and I'm going to do flexi flips for
Woo!
socks. I have used them for sleeves on a couple of things, and I think they really are fun. I don't like DPNs. I don't like 9-inch circulars. I really only ever do magic loop.
Yeah.
But I figured this is a good. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed when I did them on sleeves, and I feel like for socks, because the stitches will be even more concentrated in the middle of the needles, it'll be fun. And I am using Madeline Tosh sock in the Red Fox colorway.
That's such a good
Because
color.
I've always loved this, and I may do a plain vanilla sock. I'm gonna see what I certainly have a bunch of sock patterns saved, so I may just do, and actually I've got books that just have different like leg patterns and things.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
I may look through and find something that would work nicely with this.
I gotta figure out what heel I'm gonna do for those.
You have such options.
I
And
have
I need to edit.
options.
I know. There's.
It's okay. I also
videos.
need to record
I'll get
my
to
little like. Here's a this would be a good time for me to do it when I'm in the summer during sock bingo. I'll record a like here's the heel flap family of heels. And
Oh yes.
Yeah.
a bit of an informative like bonus.
Yeah.
Bonus
Good idea.
videos.
Good idea.
I'll work on it.
But what are you going to do, Amanda?
Yes, I think I might take that second sock syndrome. For those of you that might remember, as soon as we got La Bien-Aimée and last year, I grabbed these two.
Yeah.
These colors are Flora Morganite in her super sock and Jasper.
Mm-hmm.
Jasper was one of the colors that this is the color that Jodi of Grocery Girls had designed for her.
Mm-hmm.
And Flora Morganite is one of Amy's
Basic colors, yeah.
colors, yes.
Original colors,
Barely
whatever, yeah.
basic. I mean, look at that.
I know.
Absurd.
Yeah, with basic is hard to use in
You
combination
can only
with that,
say
but
it's basic when you're talking about like the low Bien-Aimée
Yes.
core. How
colorways.
about core?
Core.
I think it's
Core
core.
colors,
Core
yes.
color. That's the word.
Yes. So I love Grocery Girls. And I love Jodi's design that she made with her Jasper color. And so I copied it. I did exactly that thing.
It's so pretty. Hey,
this
it works.
is her Jasper Ridge sock. So I had actually cast this on last fall and knit all the way to here. And then I stopped.
Wow.
So last night, because it was sock bingo, I was like, you know what, I'm going to finish these socks. So
Did you add that, or is that part of the design?
It's part of the
band?
design. The
Okay,
band
I
part of
like
the
it. It's very fun.
yeah, right? It's cute.
It's like a little surprise when you take your shoe out of your foot out of your shoe.
I like that design, yeah.
But so yeah, I just finished from here to the end, from the beginning of the Flora Morganite strip to the end last night, which was about an hour and a half. Beth, my oldest, is home, so we're catching up on all the sci-fi. We're watching Picard. Oh my goodness, second season.
You need to talk to Jonathan about that because I haven't watched it yet, but he's like, it's so good.
It's so good.
Oh,
So
cool.
good.
Excellent.
So we watched episodes 3 and 4 last night, and I finished this. And yes, but I didn't cast on the next one, but I'm going to cast on the next one. I feel like this qualifies for second sock syndrome because
I think so.
yeah,
The fact
very
that,
long languishing
long
first
language
sock.
between starting the first one for
Yes.
sure. Yep.
Yeah.
And I really want them. These are going to look. I got a pair of brogues. These are going to look super cute in my brogues. It's a little bit shorter than I usually do. My socks usually go another inch and a half or 2 inches higher. But I think I specifically made these to go well in brogues.
Yeah. Very nice.
That's the nice part about sock knitting is you can be like, you know what? I'm going to make these to go in this specific pair of shoes that I have.
Yeah.
And like, this is the outfit I'm going to do.
This is going to look so good with these little booties that I got to wear. They call them shooties. They look like boots when your jeans are over them, but then when you pull it up, there's like no, it's just the shoe part, but they're like
Those
almost
will
the
be
same
cute.
color as
Oh,
that.
nice.
They're going to be so cute. Okay,
Just saying,
good.
I kind of like
I know,
the
right?
glacier and the Flora Morganite.
And also,
Yes.
I think we may be low on those colors, but we are doing another order in June. So,
Yeah, so
before you
we'll-
know it, things we'll have stuff back in stock.
But also, like, if you wanted a similar look,
Yes.
Yeah.
like
Definitely
something
the
like
glacier.
this,
Yeah.
it
I
would
think
be.
we have one of these.
I know that. I think the Flora Morganite hadn't sold a lot, and then
all of a sudden,
well, as soon as we put in our last order, somebody bought like 4, and then other people bought 1 or 2. So it went
great
from
color.
having a lot of them to
We have a
Yeah.
couple of colors that are similar. To
we
this.
do.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah, they're great.
But it's
so
also
that's
sweater
my,
maybe
that's-
is similar.
that's
or,
my
I don't
first
know.
one.
There's another one. It's not Amy's sweater.
I love it.
Just look on the website. You'll
Yes,
see it.
there's ongoing. I have at home to cast on as well. There's a Zelda knit-along
Ooh.
that's going on sock. I have the stuff for that.
Oh, we should make those.
I need-
Haley could make those.
Oh
for
my
Jean.
goodness, they're so cute.
Yeah, Haley will probably join us next episode. She's still settling into her routine, her summer
Coming
routine.
back from college. It's
And
a
also,
lot.
she's like, I don't have a whole. She doesn't really have a whole lot to show. She has been doing socks, but
Yeah.
she wants to work on the winter sweater to show some progress.
Yeah,
on it.
I want to
She
see
joins
her
us
winter
next.
sweater because she swapped out. I also need to work on my winter sweater. That one I know where it is, but it's behind all the plants. So I didn't forget.
I have one more whip.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
your whip.
go for your
And I
whip
have
because
this
you're
whip.
And I've got like 3 more whips in here, so I'll go last with the rest of the whips.
Yeah, I might have to bail. At some point. But let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Oh my goodness. Where did it go in here? It's still in the needles, right? Yeah, okay.
Here, I know that's the, like, I can't find it. Oh my god, please don't. You're still on.
Sorry.
See, it wasn't me this time. Amanda cursed.
Yes. Oh, it came off the needles.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's okay. It's fine. It's just a little swatch.
Okay.
And now it's less of a little swatch.
So many
I
project
like
that color combo.
Yeah, so speaking of, right, like I had this yarn in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
This yarn I got in 2020. And
which is this? Let's see.
This is on my Make 9. So I'm making a sweater. Okay. Oh, so on my Make 9 this year is the Autumn Court sweater.
Oh yes.
Such a gorgeous color palette.
Really pretty.
This is the color palette.
It's the Brella color palette. I remember that.
It's my corporate website color palette. We got a new marketing director in 2020.
Look, it's very similar to that.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
We got a new marketing director in 2020 who has since got another job at and is moving on to like greater things. But I love her color palette. So I got this yarn in 2020 to make this, actually another sweater, and then changed my mind to Autumn Court, which is by Tristan. Yeah, Tristan of Dragon Horde Fibers. Mm-hmm. So I started swatching it, and that's what I did.
A tiny little swatch.
It was a tiny little swatch.
Are you just trying to find color placement?
Yeah, I'm trying to find color placement. Yes, it's not gauge swatch.
Don't make a gauge swatch. That's
no. This is color placement.
Color alone. Yeah.
Color placement, totally cool.
Yes. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So I've started it. It is now a thing, and it's going to, once I figure out what colors I want to do, because it is made for 4 colors, and I'm using 5, so I've got to play with the placement a little bit and figure out where to
what
put
you're swapping 2 in for one or whatever.
But I really like this one because it has color work not only at the yoke, but also on the bottom of the body of the sweater and on the bottom of both of the sleeves. So there's going to be a lot of places to enjoy this color palette.
Yeah. And it's also like a nice way to just tie it in. I feel like it's, kind of like the rule of 3s, right?
Yeah.
Like you're the same with the tipping, and you have it here, you have it here, you have it here.
There we go.
It's a good look.
So
now it's back on.
Now it's back on. So now it's, I've got 3 repeats of this pattern. That's going to be the yoke pattern. But the teal is the main color.
I love that.
Do you have enough of it now? Because remember you had.
I ordered it and I never took it home, so I gotta get.
And I think it got sold because you never took it home.
Perfect. Someone else enjoyed it since 2020.
Well, you said you weren't going to work with it yet, so you know what I mean. Yeah, but there may be one still in there. We'll have to see.
We'll
order with our next order.
Yeah, or when we go to H&H.
Yeah, exactly.
Go by their booth and be like, I need 4.
Yeah.
It's super pretty.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm swatching anyway. There's going to be such a distance between whatever's on the top and like whatever. Anyway, so I don't
for
care.
sure.
And if it ends up being a little bit off color, I'll just do this teal at the top, and then like on the bottom of the cuffs
sleeves.
and on the ribbing at the bottom, and I'll use it.
Yeah, you'll use that up. Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about how you're swatching your color work?
What do you mean?
The fact that
you mean that I'm stranding it across the back? Yeah. Well, it's stranded. Yeah. So this sweater is knit in the round. So
no pearls.
So no pearls, right? So I cast on 15 stitches, which is far too few for a proper size gauge swatch, but it's fine for a color swatch. And I'm swatching, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and you're following your chart. So is it going to be like you'll get a wedge?
Yes, I will get a wedge. I've already done one set of increases in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I get to the end of a row, knit, and I'm done with my row. And then instead of turning it around and going across the back, because the next row is also color work, I just slide it to the other end of my needle and pass it loosely across the back and knit.
Start with color.
Yes, so my swatch is also the same way that I'll be knitting, which is all knits and no pump.
Yeah.
Which is important because people's gauge can be different.
If you're doing a gauge swatch, that's super important.
Yeah. Although sometimes I say you don't have to do it for a gauge swatch. It depends on if you know you're going to row out, like you know your pearl.
Oh yes, if you're.
Well, and also it may be the fiber. A lot of
different.
times on plant fibers, that's really when people are going to row out a lot.
Yeah. But especially if you're doing, it's also a pain in the neck sometimes. Like if you're just doing this for color,
I don't want to.
You don't want to mess with it, and also you don't want to like. Some people will cut their yarn. I'm like, well, then you can't reuse it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I did cut my teal like when I was done. With this.
Yeah. You don't want to,
because I didn't want to have like 5 skeins attached.
But at least then you've got like usable pieces of yarn if you need it,
rather
rather than like
length.
little bits of spaghetti.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to cut it across the back when I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's some people also do that where it's like you do that and then you cut all of the loops at the end of the back and pin it out.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're a swatch keeper, and you know that you're not going to need to unpick it, but I always think of a swatch as kind of like your built-in reserve of not running out of yarn.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally
or
a
for repairs
game.
if you want to, you know.
And another reason I didn't make
something.
this huge is that I don't know what color placement I want to do, and I figure I'm gonna have to take it out, put it on, take it out, put it on, and I don't want to take out
50 stitches. You want to take out
right
5,
18.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, so this will be it'll probably take me a little bit to figure out what colors. Maybe by the next episode I'll have figured out what colors I want to do and I'll have a finished plan. You'll see. But I'm really excited about this.
I'm sure you'll be fine like with one of each other than the main color, right?
I think so.
I think you will. So
I was proud of myself for being disciplined. I made my make 9. It's been 2 years I've had this and, as a plan, and I really want the finished product. What I really wanted to cast on was a ranunculus. And I have the yarn for that too, but I did not. I'm planning this first, and I'm going to cast it on. I'm going to get into the yoke, and then I'll probably cast on the ranunculus.
which is fine. Like
what yarn is that, by the way?
This is Allegria. This is the little brother.
Baby sister or brother.
The fingering version.
The fingering version, yes.
So also 75-25. Yep, a lot of the same color palette. I'm just dropping things today.
Okay,
do you have any other whips?
That's everything I brought.
Okay.
Oh, I have sand in my bag. Oh, that's cute.
That's what happens when you go to the beach. I
children and knitting.
Only brought one whip, although I do have my summer sweater for my summer sweater class, which I did not do a ton of work on because in addition to the kitchen renovation, I also had my 25th college reunion this weekend.
That's right.
Which was kind of awesome because there were a couple of classmates who live in Montclair, which was great. There was a chat.
Did you know that, or you didn't know it?
I knew a couple of them did, but I didn't realize like quite how many. It's like I went to Haverford College. It's a very small Quaker affiliated school. I think there were like 300 people in our graduating class.
Wow.
And there's at least 3 or 4 of us in Montclair.
That's a lot.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
One of them is also a knitter, and her mom's a knitter too. So they've been by already, which I was like, oh my god, that's so crazy. But also another one of our classmates is a fiber artist, and she's a spinner, and you know, she and I knew each other in school because 300 people I knew.
Yeah, you probably knew everyone. So
I can't imagine this. I went to Alabama. There's a lot of people from Alabama in Montclair. There's a lot of people from Alabama everywhere.
But we were both knitters in college, and neither one and we had friends in common, and we just had no idea.
You were knitters in college?
No, well, I knew I was a knitter, and she knew she was a knitter, but I didn't know she was a knitter, and she didn't know I was a knitter.
Wow!
And she's a spinner.
That's wild.
She has gorgeous, gorgeous yarn.
That's incredible.
Cool. And she teaches on Mainline, Michèle Muñoz-Miller, and she teaches at Mainline Art Center in, I want to say it's Haverford, but it could be Ardmore. But check her out, she's great.
But she's not one of the ones who lives here.
She is not one of the ones who lives here, I think, so she has a website, I'll send it to you.
Cool.
And we'll link to her below. So I brought this with me, my outstranding, sorry. But I didn't work on it. Cause
did you get to work on anything, or you just were being social?
No,
it's
being social.
That's the thing to do.
A lot of walking around, hanging out with friends. So I'm almost done. I think I've gotten enough. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Like, I made it a little bit bigger. And I think I did 2 more rows of the stripes, or maybe not. No, I didn't. Okay, so I did the same. But I did a couple more rows before I got to the stripes. So now I just want to make sure that I'm doing enough of the seed stitch border. And then I'm going to tip balance it out, and then I'm going to tip it with the dark one.
Pretty.
Nice.
That's going to be beautiful.
So I think...
Yay.
I think I need a little bit more on the border, but I mean, I'll finish this tonight.
Oh, and actually, just talking about Outstanding.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, check out the live on Knitty Natty's channel where we did our closing ceremonies. Yep. It was so fun. We had about 10 people show off their Outstandings. They were all gorgeous. Christy Archer, the designer, was with us as well, and she showed off hers. And we restocked all of our original colors. So they're still on our website. If you go to the kits section, that's an easy way to find it.
Yep.
This is a really fun shawl to knit.
It's so fun.
The only reason it's taken me so long is
we were just saying, it's very interruptible because like whatever you're in, it's so easy to jump back into it when you do have time. And I said on the live, I said I've made 3 already, but I'm sure I'm not done. I'm sure I'm gonna still make more.
Yeah. Had life not just been crazy this month, I would have been
you've had a lot going
ages ago.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Oh my goodness.
No kidding.
But think how happy you will be when it's done.
It's gonna be a
think
fun
about
June,
the end.
It's gonna be a crazy June.
Right? The end of school, you're traveling. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. Everybody's doing a lot. So that's my only whip, and then I'm still working on the retro sweater, and that might be like a depths of the summer sitting in front of the air conditioner kind of thing.
Yeah.
The summer sweater class is in full swing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, full swing. We had one thing, and then I went to my reunion, so I was like, see y'all.
Did you guys not meet last weekend then? Because you were
No. I knew I was going to be either hungover or traveling, and I was both.
Okay.
There you go.
See, my crochet along starts the day after dance comp.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can we talk about my whips and then
Yes, whips,
okay.
Well,
and then we also need to do...
I'm sorry, no, you've got to go though, so go ahead.
Oh.
Talk about...
No, I do have to go. I have to go. Crochet along starting June 12th.
Yes.
It's on the website now.
It's on the website. Yes. Check it out.
It's gonna be good.
And we shipped some kits for that last week too. Actually, you want to hold up just a couple of your kits?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And it has a great acronym because the Hooked on Sunshine.
Hooked on Grannies.
Hooked on Grannies. Where at first I was like,
I was texting Jen from the lake yesterday, really fast.
I love it.
Well, that's what.
It's a hog cal.
That's how Hooked on Grannies abbreviates her own things, which I didn't know until. So
that's awesome.
Like, hog cal, HOG.
That is so pretty.
That's one. Amanda pulled together like 6 different kits. They're all so fun.
This is the one that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's
which is like sherbet color.
Really gorgeous. That's so summery.
This one
is very similar to your report. It's like the same colors.
If you liked my sweater,
it's
basically
that would be great.
Obviously,
I love the teal and the orange,
right?
Like the pink and the green.
Yeah, it looks great.
I didn't notice that was umbrella colors until now you mention it, but it is.
Yeah. It's a good combo.
It is a really good combo.
And it's a lot like my project.
Abby did. Look at that.
Good job.
Very nice.
Good girl.
And I liked your naming on them too. Was that like Sandy Beach or something? Or Sand and Shore?
I told her, think about the beach and what colors you see at the beach and pull together a kit. And she did.
Yeah.
She did a great job. She did a good color sense.
She does. Well, she's been hanging out with all of us.
Yep.
And then this one, my sister lives in Mexico, and I love Oaxacan art.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I just thought this would be so much fun.
Very Oaxacan.
Love it.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that would be super fun.
Love it.
So anyway, so those are, I think, the 4 that are over here. And we have a full complement of cotton soft in.
Yes, we do.
So these
and
are
we can get more too. If,
kind of starter kits, right?
Yeah, they're starter kits.
So you start with that, and you'll.
A lot of people who've ordered them already have ordered 2. So you can either start with 6 or 12. How big you want to make it?
How big you want to make your blanket?
Yep.
And what you want to, if you want a main color versus accent colors or
exactly, if you want them to be kind of even.
That's why we just have one of each because it's going to be up to you.
And then we'll get more as we go. And also, I feel like on something like that, there's not as much of a concern about dye loss.
Oh, definitely.
Unless you want really one color to dominate.
True.
And then you may
there are
care
people
more.
who have made single color.
Oh,
Afghans,
some of them
which
are gorgeous.
Spectacular.
They look like fondant. They look
Yes.
carved.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
amazing.
because you get the all.
I started
texture.
when I knew you were doing this. I started looking at all the projects on Ravelry, and I probably spent a half hour just like going through them one
those
day.
solid ones
One
are
is more beautiful than the other, and also you can do solid with one accent. I mean, there's
Yeah.
But I did see
so many
somebody
opportunities to make it
recently.
your
'Cause
own.
she has a great Facebook group. I saw somebody recently who, thought they were doing a white Afghan, but it was 2 different dye lots, and it definitely is a different white in the center than it is on the outside.
But sometimes that can work too if you place your squares a certain way.
Didn't work.
It didn't work for her. Yeah.
So always check.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be an
If you're
check.
thinking about a single one, then we should help you figure out how much yarn you want and make sure you have it before you start.
Sure.
All right.
All right.
I gotta go.
So we will say
Talk
bye
for
to
peace.
Amanda for now.
Sorry, guys.
No
and
worries.
I'll have to show her my cool thing.
I
later.
know.
She's
I'm
gonna miss the cool thing.
Well, I'll get it when I'm editing.
You'll see it when
We
we're
will.
editing.
So, like I was saying earlier, I kind of have had a little bit of cast-on-itis. I've been having to cast on all the things.
Beginning of the season, cast on all the. Well, you made 3 shawls,
I know.
right? So
I know.
then you're like, okay, I'm
on a
used to,
roll.
like,
I'm on a roll.
Let's go.
So I did this, and I'm like, great, summer top.
Right.
I'm gonna do another summer top.
It looks so good with your necklace too.
Thank you. I was so happy
love
to.
that.
I found that. I'm like, oh yeah, I do. I have.
It's
It,
perfect.
it needs something, and it's definitely. I'm not gonna wear a shawl at this time of the year.
No.
So
Again, did we mention it's 95 degrees out today?
So the other, and actually, I was deciding between 2 sweaters when I did cast this on, but this I did. I started when we went to pick Haley up from school at the end of the school year.
Yeah.
So I needed something really easy. The other one I was considering.
Which is so fitting because that's the 7 Sisters
I know.
top, and
I
she
thought
goes
about
to
that.
Holyoke.
I know. I thought about that as I was working on it. I'm
I
like,
love that.
isn't that so cute? So
That is so
serendipitous.
cute.
So the other one I was thinking about doing is the Bolin by Layla Raven.
I like the bowline.
And it's really pretty. It is, it's knit. They say it's in 4 pieces. It's kind of in 4 parts. So you cast on down the center of your body, and then you go to the left or right, either one, and then you pick up along there, and then you go the other way, and then you do exactly the same for the back. So I love.
It's a cool construction.
It is a cool construction. Using Juniper Moon Zoe in the caramel colorway. I love this.
Such a Kathleen color.
Oh, that was the other thing. I think we were waiting for the yarn to come in. I think we didn't have this color. I wanted to have 4 balls to be sure I had enough, and I think we only had 3 or something. So yeah, between all those things, I wound up casting this on second. And it is a fairly cropped sweater. I think the picture on this is too small for you to really see it, but
maybe Amanda can throw it in. Or
actually,
you can click through and look.
you can actually, it may be big enough for you to see.
Oh yeah,
it
I
is,
see it is like...
It's a fairly cropped
it's
sweater.
Like to here, right?
It's like
right,
right,
it's a short.
It's like the bottom of your jeans band if you're wearing jeans.
Yeah.
And I was thinking I might want it a tad longer than that, so I... but because it is this unusual construction, I had to add more stitches to my cast on, not just go longer.
Oh, yeah.
So I think when I did that, I added too many. And also, the lace is a little fiddly. Because usually lace, you only have, it's really pretty, but you only have action rows on the front, and the back you just purl back or whatever.
Oh.
You have decreases on, or you have yarn overs and purl and knit 2 togethers on the front and the back.
So that's a lace on the front and a lace on the back. Yeah, normally
kind
you
of
get
a lot,
like a...
You get a relief row. You get the reward for all that purling. So between so I've got a little strip of it, and then I'm like, I am gonna redo this because I was not getting the lace perfect. I could see there were some mistakes and everything, and I think I made it too long. I threw it on a purl string. You can see,
yeah,
it's like I've got a beat of my hip.
That's a tunic.
But
the nice thing is that because you put it on the purl strings, which are these like silicone cords that stick onto your needle tip, and you can slide all your stitches onto them.
Much happier than waste yarn.
Much happier.
I've never been a fan of waste yarn for stuff like that. I know a lot of people do. I know you do it.
I like it.
I tend to use the Leica cords. These are even better. They're
I like
whatever.
it for sleeve divides because I've had to redo sleeves before.
Yeah, and if it's true, you can just leave it in there.
But
like,
to
even
just
after you
try something on or to test it out, Like, the pearl cords are really nice.
Yeah, so I wished I had actually just played around with the lace, and I think I am going to do that a little bit more. So this is eventually going to be frogged.
But the nice thing is that you can, like, pin that, like, hold the lace up to where it's going to sit, and then be like, all right, how many stitches do I need to, like...
Exactly. It was worth doing. It was worth doing.
Yeah.
I did, like, 2 repeats of the lace. But, yeah, that's my Zoe.
That's nice.
So...
I like it in the linen. The Zoe is a linen cotton. It's a little thick thin. Mm-hmm. I think lace looks really pretty on it.
Oh yeah, here's my pearl strings.
And of course orange to coordinate.
Of course. We have been selling a lot of the orange ones.
I love just this whole idea. This is also the pearl strings. It's Minnie and Pearl. She's a local yarn store owner as well, and she also does
Indiana, I believe.
Yes, in Indiana. And she does these. These are
$15.
$15 and
available on our website.
Available on our website, and they're the Sweater Plus pack, which means you get I can't even read. You get a really long piece.
1 2.5 meter and 2 1 meter, I believe.
There you go. So it'll cover a wide range.
Yeah, so that was the 1 meter I put this on, which is, just about a yard. So I knew that was going to be plenty long.
I mean, it would be a tunic.
I don't want a tunic.
You're not
so
going to
anyway,
wear a tunic.
It's fine. It was a good experiment. It was worth doing. It was kind of like a really big swatch. I thought I was getting started on my sweater, but I've learned my lessons, and I'm going to redo it. But rather than go right back to this, I decided I was going to make another one of these. Well, sometimes you need to take a break. It's
I totally want to make one of those now.
Yeah, isn't it fun?
Really, that went quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So what I'm using now is the El Rey Marmal, which I have liked this yarn since we got it in. It is. Let me tell you what the fiber content is, because it's a plant-based fiber. Mm-hmm. It is 58% cotton and 42% acrylic. So it's a good summer yarn. It's not, it's got enough cotton that it's going to keep you cool and everything.
I did that big swatch that we have in the store, and it was really nice to work with.
Mm-hmm. I do like it. I really do.
And the colors are cool.
My thing when I work with plant-based is I prefer to use bamboo because I'm a loose knitter, and it is a little bit grippier.
Yeah.
So I did swatch again, got my little swatch in here just to see, because I knew I didn't want to have quite as loose a gauge as this.
Right.
So, and the yarn is actually a little bit thicker too, so I played around, I got a gauge that I was happy with, and I think I'm actually going to make the next size up, because I went down sizes because of the
this top
gauge I was getting.
Pretty easy
flexible
to adjust your sizing.
Yeah, and but also it's just like it's the perfect thing for if you know it's going to be hot out, but you might be wearing a jacket later. It's just a shell, basically.
Yeah,
it's just a shell.
It's kind of the best summer tops sometimes.
Yeah, and I liked this because it's got a little bit more interest with the multicolors going on, and it'll be perfect with these pants. Look at this.
Oh, it will be perfect with those
That
pants.
was partly why. Can you see it?
Can you see it?
You can see the
It's
pants.
like, don't fall over.
I won't. I got the
there you go.
shelf. But anyway,
it's
going to be perfect with these pants. So this I'm kind of cranking through again. I think I've only been working on this for 2 days. Well, maybe 3 with starting the ribbing and whatever. And I have created projects for all these things on Ravelry. That's the other thing. So that haven't put the yarn in yet, but I will. At least I created them this morning.
I like this colorway. This is Moonstone.
Yes. And I think we have at least 8 different colors of Marmal now.
Yeah, there's some really pretty ones, and it has kind of a little bit of a self striping going on, but not like a hard. stripe.
No, exactly. It's kind of a mottled effect.
Yeah.
Which
really
I kind of,
pretty.
which is similar to this, but just with more colors.
I think that top is a great way to show off a yarn.
Yeah, definitely.
A yarn that has a little bit of color change or a little not color change, just a little textural.
Yep.
Kind of vibe.
And this is really nice and soft. Feel how soft that is.
It's so soft.
It's soft, and it's funny because acrylic doesn't have stretch either, but somehow just the way that this is made, the wrapping.
Yeah.
Or whatever, it doesn't...
It's got a little spring.
It's not as stringy as some cotton yarns can be, which I don't like to knit with a stringy yarn.
I don't like to knit. I don't like mercerized cotton for that reason. It's like
it looks beautiful, but it's just a little too much like string.
Yeah, it feels like you're knitting with string. I have a hard time. I'm not a It's funny, even though, like, I have sweater class and, like, the summer sweater classes have been primarily plant-based. I've chosen plant-based yarn.
Uh-huh.
Even though I don't always love plant-based yarn.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what else I don't like?
What?
Sweating.
Sweating, exactly. So
That's what I don't
that's
like.
why we love our plant-based yarns.
Yeah. Yarns.
I'm a little bit of a mess today with, like, knocking things over and picking up the wrong things, whatever.
Oh, dude, I am all over the place.
So the last thing I have, and this is what I'm sad that Amanda missed seeing.
I know, but I'm excited because I want to see. She's got it in an opaque bag. I can't even see.
Well, the really cool part is, well, I'll show you the thing first. So I had been working on this very much in the background, a scrappy granny square project with, it actually was a granny square project with leftover fingering. You know, inspired by Knitty Natty. She has done her different, but I was not going back to it. I wasn't loving it. And then I was looking, it may have been when I was looking for the pattern for the Hooked on Grannies that Amanda's doing the crochet along, the hog pattern. I came across this thing in my favorites called Flowers in the Snow. And also, I was also thinking about the temperature blankets and everything, and how Kara makes her medallions.
I love January 1. Kara.
Some of our customers do too. So I started making little medallions using fingering scraps.
Oh.
And within making like 3 of them, I had pulled out my other blanket, and this is going to be my fingering scrappy blanket.
I love it.
They are all so fun. So
how are you choosing, like, the colors?
So this is where my fun part comes in. Wait till you see.
I love that one.
Look at this.
Oh my gosh!
So this is like a container that you get apples in at Costco, basically.
Yes.
Or you could use like an ornament storage thing. I wound most of this was leftovers, but as I do, and Haley loves to make fun of me for this, I buy yarn for scrappy projects.
I do too.
Because
I have an entire bin of mini skeins that I got off of. Like,
I want my palette to work. So I go with what I'm doing for. I have some scraps that I pick that are indeed scraps.
Right.
Like this is leftover from Boss socks that I made. That actually was a mini skein somebody gave me. This is leftover from last year's summer sock can socks. Yeah. This is leftover from Woolen Vine socks that I made.
I was going to say, this is totally the outstranding.
Exactly. So with finishing all my outstrandings and everything, I had a lot of bits and even bits more than bits in some cases. But the fun thing that I'm doing with this, number one, it does really keep your stuff organized so you can see what your choices are. So I'm doing either 4 or 6 at a time, depending on how much time I have on that evening.
Okay.
I make, say, 4 of the middles.
Mm-hmm.
And so the pattern is Flowers in the Snow, as I said, and the designer, and she said she doesn't really call herself the designer. She says, I was looking for this. I know people have done it, and this is how I do it.
Right.
It's Solveig Grimstad. And it's a blog post basically on her blog how to do it. It is linked through Ravelry. And I basically followed her method exactly. So I do a magic circle. I do 12 double crochets around. Mm-hmm. And then I do 12 with chains in between. And then I do 12 sets of 2 double crochets around with chains in between. Mm-hmm. And then I do 12 sets of 3 double crochets around with chains in between.
So and really straightforward.
So easy. So the way I've been doing it is I just pick 4 colors to start, and then when I have those 4 medallions, I lay them on top of other ones in here so that I keep mixing up the colors. So I'll be like, all right, I've got a purple. All right, I'm going to do purple middle, and then I'll do it with this next, and I'm going to do my orange and yellow as a middle, and I'll do it with that next, and so on. And it's just really been a good way to be able to keep playing with the colors and not, because otherwise I would tend to have them all be the same. And I'm really, I mean, I know they're not all going to be different, but I'm trying to make them as different as possible.
You're trying to make them as varied as you can with the same, but also within the same, I mean, they all work.
Well, that's part of it. I
kind of love like the little like pancake stack you got.
I know. So this is like groups of 6, like as I've done them on different nights, I just have like grouped them to kind of keep them together. And also it does help me as I'm starting the next day. I'm like, maybe what I used for the outside on these is what I'm going to use for the insides today.
Right. You're going to rotate it through.
So, yeah. So,
I love it.
So
That's
much fun.
such a good idea.
And I have no idea how big it's going to be yet. I'm just going to go for a while. I was thinking of making 60 of them and then seeing, like, maybe trying to join that and seeing how I liked it.
And are you going to do the same kind of thing that Kara does, January 1, where you pick, like, one background color and, like,
absolutely.
do the edging and joining all at the same time?
Absolutely. And, in fact, I have it already. It is, it's Manos del Uruguay in Crema. Which is like natural, basically, or it's a little bit darker than natural, because that was what I had bought for my other scrappy blanket. So I have like 2 skeins of it already caked up. So
it's all ready to go.
But also, that's the way the flowers in the snow works. You're doing all these bright colors on a pale background, and it makes it look like they're popping out of snow. I just love it. It's so fun, and I'm telling you, if you're going to do it at home, it is such a great way to do it, because you can see what your choices are. Like this, you can kind of do them by color families if you want.
They don't get all mixed up.
And then as I run out of things, I'll replace them. I'll replace other things. I do, of course, have another set that is much more like the earth tones. Like I've got tart, and I've got glazed pecan, and I've got great owl. So I may wind up doing another. We'll see. At least I'm going to finish the first one before I start the second one. But I wanted to pull colors that that were like happy colors that I felt like worked together, because I feel like we need some happy in our lives.
I love that, and I love the happy bright colors. Like I go back and forth on scrappy blankets because years ago, and I'm talking like, God, probably like 18 years ago, I started a beekeeper's quilt.
Yes.
So I'm doing like the hexagons. I'm not stuffing them because that was going to be too much. And I have a bajillion mini skeins and leftovers and things like that. So, every so often I'll get on a kick and I'll just do the little hexy puffs. But like mine are more just hexies and less puffs.
But I've seen ones like that too. That I did about 6 hexy puffs. And then I stopped. It's like I like them, but I don't know. They're a little too fussy for me.
Yeah, I can bang through them pretty quickly. And every so often I'm like, should I take out the ones that I have, or like abandon the ones that I have and like use the yarn?
You can make a pillow out of it if nothing else. You know what I mean? I'm sure you have at least enough to make a pillow.
I definitely have enough to make a pillow.
Maybe even a throw.
And like, so every so often I'm like, or maybe I should do like a scrappy grannies, like in the snow kind of thing. Then I'm like, meh. I feel like I've committed to it. It's going to take me like 30 years to get through all the ones that I have. Wow. Like I know it well. And I'm sewing them together.
I was going to say, how do you join them? They are sewn.
I am going to. So this is where I love a rainbow, and I love like a spectrum. I'm thinking like I've always kind of thought I'll start with one color and just kind of like
blend it through,
diagonally blend it through.
Yeah, nice.
The way that the Hexy Puff Beekeeper's Quilt pattern tells you to do it is to just go through the corners. But I have boys, and that's ridiculous. And cats. And Jonathan. There's no way that's going to hold up to anything. So I will probably just do like a little like, almost like a zigzag, like going from like, if these are the 2 hexes, going like boop, 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 through. Which I don't think will actually take me that much longer. It'll just be a little bit more solid.
Yeah.
And it won't have little holes through it that someone can just
pull apart without meaning to. Yeah.
Or meaning to, depending on
who's angry and who's not.
Is it a cat or is it a child? Like, what have I said? Like, did I take away screens? Did I not give them a second portion of food? Like, is that last one a child, or is that last one a cat? But yeah.
So I have 18 squares in here, and they take up no room. This is going to hold all of these things until I'm ready to put them together.
See, you'll become like me, just jam them in.
Yeah, exactly. Squeeze them all in. Yep.
And a fingering weight crochet blanket is such a nice
thing to have.
Such a nice weight.
Yeah. So I am shooting for 60. So I feel like maybe by the end of the summer I will actually have done that, because if I kind of keep going and then I start adding in the edges and stuff.
4 to 6 a night.
And I'm not necessarily doing them every night, because now I am doing this.
Right. But even that,
I'm making sure it does not get buried. It's staying, it's kind of staying front and center. Yeah. So.
Yeah, my temperature blanket got buried.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
It'll happen.
I'll just keep going.
So, one thing we have not talked about yet is giveaways, both the last one and the new one. So, For the last one,
that would be our sock bingo suggestions, which you guys killed.
Episode 77, exactly, and we incorporated many of them into the board.
Yeah, we really did.
But our winner was Darn Yarner, who congratulations, Darn Yarner, made several suggestions, including a new to you heel, which is actually on the board. So good job, Darn Yarner. And what you win is your choice of one of these 3 sets that we had put together. Sure, and it's for the Sliding is Fun blanket. So we've got
our neutrals.
Yep. So, and this is a skein of Cumulus and a skein of Cumulus Degradé. And then this is Mermaid's Lullaby and Jasmine Cha-Cha.
I love
that. That's really fun.
I want to eat it. It's so lovely.
And then we have Stone and Phoenix Pearls.
So pretty.
So Darn Yarner, congratulations. Let us know which set you would like us to send you. And we will be happy to do that. Get it out in the mail to you. Yay! Congratulations! So let's go ahead and throw those back over here because we also now have to tell you. And did we come up with a question?
I would choose this one, I think. Did we come up? Oh, you know what? We should come up with a question. Something sock bingo-esque.
Yeah.
What's a good sock bingo-esque question?
What's your favorite sock pattern?
Yes, that's
how about that? What's your favorite sock pattern?
Or do you not do a pattern?
Yeah, but patterns are especially. How about what's a pattern you'd like to do if you have?
Perfect.
Maybe.
What's a pattern you would like to do?
Either favorite or what you'd like to do. Because I would like to hear pattern suggestions, basically.
So
even if you're not one who does, either your favorite or one that you would. If you were a pattern person, what would you do? Because I would love to get more suggestions out there for everybody and for us.
Same here.
Including
us. I mean, I really do default to vanilla socks.
I do too.
Boring old vanilla socks.
I do too.
I mean, I'll mix up the heels, but now I'll mix up the heels. Before I wouldn't.
I know. There are a few. It's funny. I often repeat patterns, as in, right?
Yeah.
Even today, that's not uncommon for me.
Or how many Hermione's everyday socks do I have?
See, now that one I do like that pattern, but I have not redone that. The only sock that I redo is plain vanilla. So I'd like to have a new default, or at least another one that I want to make more than once. And I've made some really fun socks. So
give us your suggestions. Tell us what pattern you want to do, or what your favorite pattern is, sock pattern, and then
what you will win is a skein of your choice of Tosh sock that we have in stock. So we have many colors.
Oh yeah.
And some of them are like not that they're one of a kind, but we only have one at this point. But we've probably got 100 skeins of Tosh sock in stock.
We've got a lot of options.
So this is Deep, for example.
I love it.
This is Cousteau, which is so beautiful.
That's my favorite, and I picked that one.
This is Translation. Ooh, it lost its sleeve.
Oh no!
But I know it's Translation.
I was going to say it's probably floating around. It may have lost its sleeve on the way to the table.
Also, this is one of the ones that was in the Outstanding kits for the blues.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty.
It's possible that it's in that box too.
And then I have... Alright, so I have Wilted, which I love this like purpley gray.
I think it's Wilted Roses, which is so cool.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Great Gray Owl.
How did I know?
Good default.
I've used that before.
This would, I think, look fantastic with like a pop of geranium. Geranium. Also from Outstanding.
So we have put a bunch of the Outstanding solid, colors from the Outstanding kits also in stock.
You could coordinate your shawl, your Outstanding shawl with your socks.
Yeah.
And then Mythical Beasts, which
that one's kind of cool.
Super cool, like that corally and like
very summery too. Good for
it is very summery.
Summer socks.
But we have more.
We do.
So,
and this is just to give you an idea of what you could win. Whoever wins can go on the website and pick what they want, or if they're local, they can come into the store. But yes, tell us your favorite sock pattern or one you'd like to do, because we'd love some new ideas.
Yeah.
So that everyone has more thoughts for summer sock bingo.
And we hope you guys join us for summer sock bingo. And Amanda's hooked on Grannies. Crochet along. The knit alongs and crochet alongs are free.
Always.
Never
anything else.
Never anything else. And they're super fun. It's a great community.
And we love when you use our yarns. You're absolutely not required to. Yeah. We love seeing what everyone's doing.
And I believe sock bingo, you get an extra entry in the grand prize if you use the yarn.
Grand prize, right? And actually, it's funny because it was Memorial Day weekend the last few days, so we have all been doing our Yarnia work and doing our lives with families and trying to have some summer fun and all. Mm-hmm. So we've been a little more scattered than usual, but the sock bingo board does say that you get an extra entry with Yarnia yarn, and also we stay with the grand prizes.
Oh yeah,
which I think is not on the website now. It's the previous draft on the website. But,
I don't think I put that on there.
No, it's okay, whatever. I'm just saying.
Or in the newsletter, because I was I don't know.
Yeah, it was in the final draft. So I'll ask Amanda to update the website. But the grand prize is going to be a $100 shopping spree at Yarnia, as we did last year, because that was so well received. And hey, who doesn't love a $100 shopping spree?
You don't have to use it on sock yarn, although you can.
You could if you wanted.
You could use it on anything you want.
Yep, for sure. And we will also continue doing our monthly prize drawings for people who either post on Instagram with the hashtag Yarnia Sock Bingo 2022 or in our Ravelry thread. And so look at the full rules. If you're not a Ravelry user, we understand, and we have ways around that.
Yeah, it's detailed in the directions that accompany the board or on the website. So just, you can email it to us.
Yeah, exactly. But many ways to win, and there's also the fun of making all the socks. Yeah. And as we say on our instructions, you absolutely are encouraged to do double dipping. Yeah. We know Natalie's Knitty Natty Sock Week is coming up soon.
That's right.
Crazy Sock Ladies Summer Sock Camp is also running right now. I've seen people tag both of us in that. One of our followers has a podcast and is doing something. I think it's Arctic Crafts. I'll find that and send it to Amanda so we can link her as well. She's doing a sock challenge right now as well. So awesome. Double dip when you can.
Right?
Go for it. More prizes, more fun.
More prizes, more fun, more making, more socks.
Yeah. So
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you in whatever, the next one.
Couple weeks.
Again, I'm really scattered.
Okay.
And
here's the UPS guy.
Oh.
All right. So we'll say bye and thank you. Thanks to
we'll say bye, thank you. Make sure to follow us online. ShopYarnia.com. Ravelry, we're Shop Yarnia. Facebook, we're Shop Yarnia. Instagram, we're Shop Yarnia. And make sure to like and subscribe here. Click the alarm bell and you'll get notifications when new things are posted.
That's right.
And when I get my acting gear, maybe some of those will be some sock heels and a deep dive into all of that stuff, which I know I promised you last year, but it's been a long year.
Life.
And meanwhile, we hope everything's well with you guys.
Yes,
and we'll see
absolutely.
You
and we'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care.
Bye.